We're now joined by Kevin Mutai live from the scene of that recovery. Kevin Mutai, what is the latest?
Well, good morning, Olive, and it's day 5 now. Today it enters another painful day as the family eagerly awaits the government rescuers and other the rescuers from the divers, actually from different government agencies in their efforts to try and retrieve the bodies of their loved ones, Amanda and her mother, Mudeo. Right now I can see the Kenya Navy are already set, but those are divers behind me from the Kenya Navy, but the officials from the government have not yet arrived here, led by Esther Koimet, the PS Transport, who arrived yesterday to take charge of the operation. But right now, Olive, nothing has begun at this time. The ferry services are currently operating. The activities within the channel are continuing as in their normal schedule. But what I've noticed right now is that the tides are currently high and the water is very dirty. There's a lot of dirt. Remember, these are some of the challenges that were cited by the divers yesterday, saying that even despite using different mechanisms to try and locate the vehicles, one of the things they encountered is that the water is too dark in the ocean, and of course also with the dirt. It's been raining in Mombasa. It rained also today in the morning, and it's also feared that the dirt from all the way from Wakirunge and Dongokundu, all that water with mud could have been dumped into the ocean, and of course will also be another thing that might hamper today's recovery operation. It's been a painful process indeed for the family, waiting to see the bodies of their loved one. Remember, Amanda and Mudeu, Amanda and her mother, Mariam, died on Sunday after the vehicle plunged into the ocean. But since then, the government now has said that it's concerned about what's happening, and those were the words of the PS, the State Department of Transport, that is Esther Koimet, saying that they are now taking charge and they will do everything possible to ensure that they will be able to retrieve their bodies. Remember, also the military is doing their part, and yesterday we saw aeroplanes by the Kenya Navy patrolling the channel, and they're using scanners to detect any metal from the channel. And of course also we saw deployment of robots by the Kenya Ports Authority using one of their tugboats, which we actually had an opportunity to board, and we saw how the robot worked. But the challenge that they encountered is that they suspended the robot to over 45 meters deep into the ocean, but we were not able to see anything. Even ourselves, we tried to look on the computer, but because the water is too dirty, very dark inside, we were not able to locate anything. But they told us that they're working now on key possible locations that after the coordinates that were detected by that military aircraft using sonar detected 14 possible locations that they believe the vehicle could be lying, or rather could be sitting. Remember, yesterday they explored 5 of those key locations, but 9 are remaining, and we expect that today the multi-agency team will be able to focus on those areas. Remember, yesterday the colonel in charge of the operation from the Kenya Navy, Lawrence Kituma, said that they'll be focusing on those particular areas, the 9 places that they got the coordinates, and they said that there'll be teams from both sides of the channel, and of course there'll also be extra teams to confirm what the previous teams, or rather the first divers, would come up with, and they say that they leave no stone unturned until this particular operation will be conducted and concluded as soon as possible. We've also seen and heard comments from area leaders. Mombasa Governor Hassan Joho was here himself yesterday, and he gave 2 million shillings to a private company, and of course also rehired Musa. Musa is a private diver who had been hired by the family before and was given a down payment of 100,000 shillings, but there was a little bit of a scuffle between Musa and government agencies. His boat, together with his fellow divers, was confiscated while at sea by the Kenya Maritime Authority. on grounds that the government says that Musa, together with his team, was giving the family false information about the location of the vehicle, which according to the officials of the government said that was contradicting and jeopardizing the entire operation. But Musa was able to be rehired again by Mombasa governor after he got here and gave a South African company that is offering diving services will be working now with Musa, that is under the county government of Mombasa. Mombasa County is doing this recovery operation of its own, but also there's also the team from the government and several other agencies. I heard Governor Joho saying that for both of the teams, while conducting the operations, they'll be sharing these coordinates and the results of the search and rescue, search and recovery operation, what they'll be able to get combined, and of course give a proper directive on what will be next. I've also already seen that the tugboat from the Kenya Port Authority is already out and is currently maneuvering and going around the channel trying to take positions. Remember, there are 9 key positions right now they're trying now to focus on after they concluded the 5 that were announced yesterday by Lieutenant Colonel Lawrence, and right now we're waiting also for the government officials to arrive and to try and get the scope of the operations today. But remember, also yesterday they said that the ferry services will be also halted during several hours to also give room for the divers to participate, or rather to partake in the recovery exercise. So also the government urged the commuters to bear with the situation and telling them to try and reschedule some of their journeys, or rather try to be early, so that once the ferries close from as early as 10 a.m. to at least 12, because they said that they'll be closing, or rather halting the operations for at least 2 hours for them to be able to dive. But as I said, the tides are currently high, but we're here waiting for the officials and the divers to arrive so that they can be able to begin another day of trying to retrieve the bodies of Amanda and her mother, Mariam. Olive, we're still here, we're pitching tent here, and we'll be updating our viewers as soon as we get any latest update concerning the search and recovery operation happening here at the Likoni channel in Mombasa. Back to you, Olive.
Kevin, before I let you go, I've heard that there are demands by certain MPs that there should be changes at the helm of the Kenya ferry services. Has the management responded to those demands, and also demands that they be charged for criminal negligence?
Well, of course, those are also the same sentiments that Mombasa Governor Hassan Joho himself categorically said yesterday, and urging the Ministry of Transport to start probing the possible lapses that could have led to the tragedy that occurred on Sunday. And Joho said that the heads should start rolling, and he actually mentioned the names of some of the key management officials at the Kenya ferry, accusing them of negligence. Joho categorically also stating that MV Harambee is one of the ferries that have been operating here for quite some time now, and the ferry is faulty and without ramps actually. And Joho said that why would the management or the officials of the KFS wait until a disaster occurs so that they take action? Joho saying that those are the sentiments that of course other leaders from the region want to see the measures taken by the government to also hold some people accountable, because this ferry services is what is a mode of transport depended on by very many people. Thousands and thousands of the coast residents are traversing the two between the island and the mainland, accessing both Kwale and Mombasa County. So we are expecting to hear the direction from the Ministry of Transport, but of course also Olive, regarding that matter, we received information yesterday, but we're still yet to confirm that. I'm sure, so those are some of the issues that we'll be asking Esther Koimet. We heard that the Ministry of Transport under James Macharia is currently working on ways to try and probe how the incident occurred and why. We also got information that officers from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations have already been dispatched to the scene, and they're also part of the investigations to also probe how and why the tragedy occurs and try to address the lapses and so as to ensure that such kind of tragedies never occur again. Olive, also the Kenya Ferry management also says that they've outlined the short-term and long-term measures to ensure that they address such kind of tragedies, which includes grounding faulty ferries. But of course, we're yet to see all that, and we're yet to get the proper direction from the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure. Olive.
Thank you, Kevin, for a very comprehensive brief.